morning, Devika. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for coming on with us with this podcast. Can you share a little bit about your education and professional journey and give our listeners an insight on your background?
Sure, certainly. I have a bachelor's in medicine and surgery from India, and I'm currently pursuing a master's in public health program at the University of Texas at Arlington, where I'm simultaneously pursuing a graduate certificate in health informatics. I'm currently working as a full-time research assistant at the University of Texas at Arlington in physical activity and wearable sensors laboratory.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your research or
Oh, yes. I'm assisting one of the professors at the UTA with two projects of hers, which includes Project Known and Bloom. So, Project Known is about exploring physical activity benefits among cancer survivors, and Bloom studies about exploring the daily experiences of Black women on their cardiovascular health.
wow, that is awesome. Now, can you tell me the research project you're working on with the breast cancer?
Oh, yes. So this is one of the projects that I had to do as a part of an academic curriculum. When I was presented with this amazing opportunity to write a project proposal, I had to do a literature search to come up with an idea like what problem exists that is not already being explored, right? So I did a little bit of search and I got to know breast cancer is the most prevalent cancer among women in the United States. I was looking at the risk factors that need exploring. So that is where I came to the conclusion from all the evidence that I gathered that alcohol consumption seems to be the least studied part. There are few studies, I do agree, but there exists a gap because they have not been extensively explored as the other factors like, family history as such.
Perfect. Your research is intriguing. How does this align with your educational and professional experiences? And could you dive into the connection between your background and your current research?
Of course. First, I start with the professional backgrounds. When I used to work as a resident doctor back in India for 1.5 years in an oncology setting, so that is where my interest tend to actually take a degree in public health to do something on a prevention aspect. Because once cancer develops, it's all about treatment, and there is also not a definitive cure when the cancer is diagnosed at a very aggressive stage. So that is when I decided there's a lot of interventions that are needed to be implemented on a prevention aspect. I was exploring the on-campus job opportunities to work in research fields so that I can actually put my goals into action. So that is when I came across this physical activity and wearable sensors lab. And Dr. Leo, she's amazing with her work, where she's working on a project where she's exploring the physical activity benefits among cancer survivors. So boom, that is the project that I wanted to assist for so that I can learn more about how an actual impact can be made in the area of oncology. So that is how my interest tend to actually focus my entire professional and academic background on oncology prevention aspects.
That is so awesome. I see so much of that in my career in surgery because there's so much cancer there and it's awful. Breast cancer is a significant health concern. What is your current landscape of breast cancer and how has it evolved in the health issue?
Indeed, breast cancer stands as the most prevalent cancer among women in the United States, like I mentioned before. If you look at 2020 alone, we saw an incidence rate of 126.9 cases per 100,000 women per year, and there was a 0.5% increase in incidence rate in recent years. And it also accounts for 1 in 3 new female cancer cases that occurs in the United States.
Wow. I hear that men can get breast cancer as well.
That's true. That is true.
How does alcohol consumption come into play? You had mentioned that earlier that you found that there's a gap in that research. How does that come into play?
So when you look at breast cancer cases, 23% of those cases can be attributed to modifiable risk factors. And among these modifiable risk factors, alcohol and obesity are the prime contributing factors for these 23% of cases. And there's also a study that has shown that Women under the age of 45, if they consume alcoholic beverages of count 14 or more per week, they have a significant elevated risk for breast cancer. And you can also see that with a 10-gram daily increase in alcohol intake, there's a 3% higher risk in premenopausal women to develop breast cancer. And this risk, it varies with the type of alcoholic beverage that is being consumed. So among all the alcoholic beverages that are out there, beer shows the highest risk that contributes to the development of breast cancer.
Wow, that's an interesting factor. Do you believe that there's multiple layers of factors contributing to the risk of breast cancer among women?
Yes, of course. My research about this association between alcohol consumption and breast cancer incidence and prevalence, it stemmed from a socio-ecological framework. It has various layers of factors that contributing to the etiology of this breast cancer incidence and prevalence.
Can you elaborate on these multifaceted factors that contribute to the risk of breast cancer?
Okay, so looking at the intrapersonal level of factors, they include mostly lifestyle factors. And these lifestyle factors include alcohol, smoking, obesity. Whereas if you look at the interpersonal factors, these include peer influence, how your friends, your social circle influence your lifestyle habits. And if you look at the organizational factors, these include access to healthcare services in a neighborhood. And if you look at the community level, these include availability of programs to provide educational initiatives on promoting healthy lifestyle behaviors, like, you have to consume healthy food to take better care of your body, or you have to be more physically active to maintain a healthy weight, those kind of programs. And if you look at the societal level, these include socioeconomic factors, which include, access to care, income, those kind of factors.
I'm curious to see if the this zip code or the county that you live in would be a factor as well.
Yes, it does, because depending on your zip code, you get to know how many stores with healthy food there are, or how many alcohol retail outlets are available in your area, what are their operational hours, and the ease of access to those kind of harmful uh, food substances like junk food or alcohol.
So shifting gears slightly from a research perspective, what interventions do you believe could be effective in addressing these concerns surrounding breast cancer?
Firstly, investigating the association between alcohol consumption and breast cancer incidence is a key step, alongside examining the link between alcohol consumption, obesity, and societal factors using an observational study design. So that is where my project proposal is based on. It explores the relationship between alcohol consumption and breast cancer incidence and prevalence, accounting for the moderating factor, which is obesity, and it also takes into account the socioeconomic factor, access to care. I will also be measuring the income and the type of insurance role on this association as well. And there can be another study design that can be employed here, an interventional study design, to explore the association of awareness of the risk of alcohol consumption on breast cancer. Among the population, like how many people know that the alcohol is a risk factor for breast cancer and how many do not know. So you can use the intervention study design, follow them. You can provide them an educational intervention, like provide them educational materials and follow them for a specified time period and see if they change their behavior.
That's definitely interesting. Looking beyond this research perspective, how about from a community standpoint? What implications do you see as effective in making a positive impact this context?
Firstly, awareness campaign. These are important to provide educational initiatives. Both women and men need to be educated here. So there's a question here, why men, right? Previously, as you asked, there is a risk for breast cancer among men as well. And apart from that, if you educate men, they can spread the awareness to the women in their family and help spread that alcohol is indeed a risk factor for the development of breast cancer. And the other intervention that we can look at is to encourage early and regular access to breast cancer screening among high risk populations, especially in the population where you can see higher alcohol consumption rate, and community based programs that addresses obesity and physical activity, like increasing the number of sidewalks in a neighborhood or a community, or increasing the availability of grocery stores that provide healthy food and fresh food can be an approach as well. The last approach that I would like to consider here is policies to control alcohol consumption. And these policies include to reduce the number of availability of alcohol retail outlets, or reduce their operational hours at least, or increase the taxation on alcoholic beverages. This can help people to reduce the consumption of alcohol.